Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are from an art exhibit and artist talk coming up at Mercy Hospital in Cedar Rapids. Welcome, Tara Moorman, artist, returning champion to the show. You've been a guest many times. Tara, welcome.
Thank you.
And Sarah Wick, who is with Mercy Medical Center, and you work in the gift shop, yeah?
That's correct. I'm the new manager and buyer for the gift shop.
And we'll explain the gift shop connection a little bit as we go.
Perfect.
But Tara, your exhibit, Letters to My Ancestors, which was featured in the Cedar Rapids Museum of Art, which was the last time you were on the show. Right. How long ago was that? Now I've lost track.
It was 2017.
What?
No, it doesn't seem possible.
Oh my gosh. Time does fly.
It does.
Along with the exhibit, you published a book.
Correct, yes.
And actually, those watching the video can see the book, which we have on display here. Remind us a little bit, since it has been 8 years, what's the background and theme of this series of watercolors?
Letters to My Ancestors is kind of a labor of love for my mother and her family. And my mother had passed away in 2013. And that following year, my husband had a kidney transplant. And so we were home a lot for about 6 months. And I was going through these old family photos that was part of my inheritance from my mother. And my grandmother had done such a great job of labeling them on the back. And so the more I went through them, I thought, I really should do something with these because our lineage kind of ends with me. So I don't have, children or nieces or nephews to carry this on. So, and in that process, I found this one old photograph of these two kind of Western gentlemen. They had their hats on and their boots and a carriage and a horse. And I thought, I've never seen this photo before, because I remember going through these photos at my grandmother's. She had them in the top dresser drawer of their guest room. And so I looked at the back of this one, and it said John Stubblefield and his son, somebody else, Stubblefield. Well, I knew there was something that had gone on in that family, but nobody ever explained what it was. Actually, it was my maternal great-grandmother's father was born out of wedlock. And he was raised by his mother's husband, a man that came home from the war and married her and raised John as his own. When John turned 18, what I found out then, he took his father's name of Stubblefield instead of the name that he had been raised with. So I thought, that's really interesting, and I really love the photograph. And so I started with that one, just kind of see where I can go with this. And I found that each photograph kind of told a story, and it was almost in chronological time. But I just, at that point, I became on a mission that I wanted to get these published, and I wanted them to be seen in public so that other people could understand the stories. And the Cedar Rapids Museum of Art wanted it for the show. And then we traveled it to 4 other museums and art centers.
And of course, this is, you didn't just put up the pictures, you reinterpreted them through your own work.
Right. Yeah, they were inspiration. It's not like
it's not like a photo exhibit.
Right. It's not like the movies where we color coded them or something.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Colorize the photos.
No. Yeah. So.
So the photos were kind of your inspiration piece,
right?
For the series, and it's 22
yes.
works,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Right.
And of course, as you know, explaining visual art on the radio is always kind of challenging. But how did they change in the filter between, from you seeing a photograph and then you making a painting? from inspired by that?
Well, first of all, I evaluated the photos of what was really necessary, And granted, a lot of these old photos are not great. They didn't have the photography that we have now, right? So I had to see if that was even something I could use as partial reference. There's a painting in there of my grandfather's father and my grandfather and his brother, and they were all standing out in the sun at a train depot, and his youngest son was being sent to the army, and he was going over to France to fight in the war, and this was 1916, I believe.
So World War One.
Right. And I knew both of my grandfather and my uncle, great uncle he was. And so I had seen them before, so I knew what their faces looked like, even though you couldn't really tell it on the photograph. But their dad I never saw, and but he had the same, I could tell the shape of his face. So he had the same shape of the face. So basically, I just used that. I didn't really try to invent something that wasn't there. And it turned out, I mean, you could tell that these three men belonged together, right? So the other thing I did is I would study the photo and kind of just try to think about who these people were. A lot of them I didn't know. And just kind of get a feeling about them. And then I would translate that into the colors I used. And one of the things that people always still ask me to this day is, how did you get those paintings to glow? And I mean, part of it was the color choice that I use and the way that I let the watercolors mix together on their own. I don't really spend a lot of time directing it. I like that fluidity of the watercolor medium. But I think a lot of it was just I was able to pick up on their energy, and the colors did. They just glowed. Somebody asked me that the other day when I was at Mercy.
At what point did the book come about?
It was published in January, and the show opened 1st of May.
This is at Mercy, or this
No,
is at the museum?
At the museum.
This is in 2017.
Right. Okay. And the museum raised the money to have the book published. And with each painting, there was a little story. I had this thing where I would start the painting with a meditation and just, pray for my ancestors and that this was okay. And if there was anything that they wanted me to know or to put in the painting, I was open for that. And so in watercolor, you can only go so far at one point, and then you have to stop because the
paper gets saturated.
Right, and then it starts drying in different places, and so you have to stop and let it dry. And so at that time, I would just take out a notebook and a pencil, and I would do what is called automatic writing. I don't know where it came from. It was inside my head. I heard it, and I would just write it.
But there was more material than you could put in the little placard that goes next to a painting in an exhibit.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you had to have a book.
Yeah, exactly.
And then a couple of years ago, then you donated the entire set, all 22, to Mercy. Is that correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Then Sarah, that's where you come into the story, because Tara comes in and says, here's my book.
Yes, exactly. Just on top of that exhibit in our lower level, we now have Tara's more contemporary work featured in the main hall just off the gift shop. And that's when she was when they were hanging those paintings earlier this month. And I met her in the gift shop, and she had mentioned she had this book, and would I be interested in offering it in the store and, reach out to CRMA for some copies. And everything just kind of rolled very easily into maybe putting together an event with her in the store to show some appreciation for her amazing work and the new art that's actually up on the walls in the upper levels. So we partnered up and reached out to CRMA to get some copies of the book to have available for our audience. And we're actually going to have a little meet and greet and author talk and walk coming up next week on July 31st.
Why is it important for there to be art on display in a medical facility or a hospital?
Well, when you're in a hospital, and I've spent a lot of time there with Bob, there's a lot of time that you don't have anything to do. You're waiting, or so a lot of people, I think, enjoy just seeing it in the halls. There have been studies shown that art can lower the blood pressure. It can you can engage with other people when you're looking at it. And all those things seem to be helpful to us as humans.
And your artist walk or artist walk and talk is coming up on the 31st, yes?
Yes.
What time?
We'll have a kind of a meet and greet in the gift shop at 2:00, and then a really informal walk and talk through her exhibits, and then returning back to the gift shop to do a book signing for those that would like her to sign copies of her beautiful book there. So should start at 2 and probably go until maybe about 3:00.
Of course, it's you just have everything set up and got the books in and everything, but any early response?
So far, we've gotten a few people that have been asking about the book. We have it on display in the store. Now we have a poster up for the event. So we've had some people and some employees actually too that are kind of discovering that this art is been in our building for a long time without really realizing the story and the history behind it. So it's been kind of a neat thing for us to understand what some of this artwork is that's in our building.
Yeah, art has been a part of many of our area institutions for a long time. But Mercy a lot, and Tara, you've had many paintings and things like that there. But this is unique in that it is something that people can then take. They can enjoy it in seeing the originals and then get to take it home. I love that.
Absolutely. It's not too common that we have that kind of a companion piece that people can take that artwork and that experience home with them. So that's really special.
Tara Moorman will be hosting, or Mercy will be hosting Tara as the artist to talk about Letters to My Ancestors, and you can also pick up a copy of the book at the same time. July 31st, 2 p.m. at Mercy Medical Center in Cedar Rapids. Don't have to make a reservation, just show up, huh?
Just show up. We will take reservations just to kind of make sure we have enough room with the talk if we need to, make some adjustments. So calling ahead is a great thing always, but please show up at the gift shop.
Excellent. Well, good luck with it. And it's, I enjoyed hearing about Letters to My Ancestors many years ago, and I'm glad to see that it continues to have life and continue to be great expression that people can enjoy today. Thank you both for being with me.
Our pleasure. Thanks for having us.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:30, on demand at kcck.org/culture, or subscribe using your favorite podcast player. Watch our videos on the KCCK Facebook and YouTube channels. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. The Culture Crawl theme is composed by Vivian Shanley. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.